In Business Morning on Channels Television. Well, just yesterday, Ernst and Young released what it called Banking Barometer Country Report, captioned Banking in Emerging Markets, Seizing Opportunities, Overcoming Challenges. Well, I'm now being joined by the two gentlemen, the leader financial services sector for West Africa, Ernst and Young, Mr. Dayo Babatunde, and of course the regional managing partner of that same company in West Africa. That's Mr. Henry Ibiki. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Well, I start with you, Mr. Dayo. What was the driving force, behind this survey?
Thank you very much. The driving force has to do with our contribution towards corporate social responsibilities to our clients. To really see how the banks in these developed countries are comparing, so that there is a sort of barometer that you could use to leverage what is happening across all these regional growth markets. And we focused on 10 countries. That is Nigeria, Vietnam, Colombia, Egypt, Indonesia, Chile, Malaysia, Mexico, Turkey, and South Africa.
All right, well just hold it there. Yeah. I can see that these countries you're mentioning, they are all from emerging markets. Yes. Why the choice of emerging markets, Mr. Henry?
Yes, I think absolutely. What you will agree with me, there has been a considerable lot of pressure, in the global economic space. And, leaders continue to stay awake or, at night, brainstorming on how do we drive growth, what kind of services do the market need, and how do we drive expansion, how do we drive revenue, where's revenue going to come from? And as you know, the emerging markets are now, the balance of, economic power has shifted to the emerging markets. And that is where almost all the global companies are looking towards, to drive growth. You asked Dayo earlier why the focus on this. I think for us, banking continues to be.
Okay. All right. Your finding also says that banks remain more focused on domestic opportunities rather than cross-border expansion. Mm-hmm. What does that imply?
Dayo,
yes.
Then I'll add on to it.
That's good. They're looking inwards. But the fact remains that considering the level of capitalization required to compete effectively globally, they cannot only be looking inwards. They will need the assistance of these stable global players to come really and assist in increasing the capitalization.
Okay. Yeah. Now, generally, what are your recommendations?
Can I just ask to what Dayo said? I haven't said that what Dayo has said is quite right, but you also remember that most of our banks, there are some of our banks who have gone, who have regional, spreads right now. Even African, Africa-wide, who has spread Africa, we can look at the UBAs who have almost about 19 branches across Africa. The Access Bank of this world who have, branches across West Africa, across Africa, and even in London and the US. So what has happened is that in the last couple of years, they've been so, concentrated on the reforms that are going on, issues around, IFRS, issues around, creation of the bad, of the bank that took off their bad of the economy. So they have been so engaged in dealing with these domestic issues that they haven't had time to focus on the international market at the moment. But I'm sure as this stabilize, you will see a lot of expansion into this international market.
Okay,
sorry, before the general, I just want to add that you discover that in some established rapid growth market, such as South Africa and Malaysia, they have already embraced the equity market, but bond market remains less developed. And the same thing in the other categories, frontiers. They rely more on savings, but the capital market, the debt is so shallow.
And
So,
what is the implication of that, even for Nigeria?
the implication of that is that it will not allow you to expand as you would like. Because by the time you compare your savings mobilization with the debt and equity, then you'll be able to have massive money to trade with and also to embark on a lot of projects.
All right. So generally, going by your findings, what would be your advice to the banks in Nigeria, really, so that they can come up too, like the others in the established frontier?
Yeah, thank you very much. On that, I will not look at only the operators. I will also advise the regulators. As we speak, the level of the cost of funds is high here as compared with other geography. So I will advise that they should work closely with the regulators to look at the best way of bringing down the cost of funds. Because once the cost of fund is still high, it's going to affect adversely, the manufacturing sector. Yes, the banking industry will be growing, but the rate sector, that is the foundation of growth, will be shrinking. And if the banking industry, that's not the rate sector, is growing at the expense of the rate sector, then there may be a danger. So there is need, for the operator and the regulator to look for ways of bringing down the cost of funds. And this may interest you. What we refer to here as mortgage loan, really, to me, I would call it a bridging facility. When you are having a mortgage loan, for instance, with high interest of, say, all inclusive of 21%, 22%, and it's going to run not for a very long time, maybe max of 10 years, 15 years, depending on your age to retirement. It's not helping. It's not helping.
Okay.
I think there's also the need to look at the unbanked. Currently in Nigeria, I think the bank, in terms of banking penetration, is just less than 30%. So there's a lot of money in the informal sector that is not in the formal, it's not in the banking sector. So the banks need to look at how do we bring that money into the sector to expand their, the base.
Well, I think that's exactly what the CBN is trying to do with its financial inclusion strategy.
You're right.
Well, thank you very much, gentlemen, for coming. Well, I've been speaking with Mr. Dayo Babatunde. He is the financial service sector leader for West Africa, Ernst and Young, and Henry Ibiki, regional managing partner of Ernst and Young West Africa. And we've been looking at 2013 banking barometer. Well, it's on that note that we draw the curtain on today's edition of the program. Thank you very much for watching, and do remember to be with us again, same time tomorrow. Have a beautiful day.
One city, 18 million people and counting. Over 18 million dreams of a better life, and a team tasked to bring those dreams to reality. What is their game plan? What goals have been achieved? Who are the players? Find answers on Deadline Makers every Saturday at 3:30 p.m. only on Channels Television.
Many factors define your health. Some you can control, while others are simply beyond you. On Health News, we highlight all these factors and through medical experts provide information that will help you take informed decisions on healthy living, nutrition, and keeping fit. Get incisive health policy analysis. Health News, promoting good health.
there, welcome again. It's News Strike on Channels Television. I'm Babatunde Balogun.
And I'm Melinda Akinlami, and these are the stories and reports we're tracking at this hour. Following the recent turn of events in Rivers State politics, there's been a reviewed and renewed call to have state police established in the country by 4 northern governors. The governors of Niger, Jigawa, Kano and Adamawa states were on a courtesy visit to the state governor Chibuike Amechi to express concern over the way police is being used in the country.
But there was a bit of a drama when protesters besieged the Port Harcourt International Airport, where the governors had arrived and held them hostage, accusing them of interfering in Rivers State's internal crisis. Our correspondent, Sheon Okimbaloye, reports.